Well, welcome back to YC. Living Upstate is taking a field trip here to Anderson, South Carolina. To tell you something that you may not know, we're here at the Anderson Fire Department at the Fire Museum here inside of the department. I'm here with Michael and Travis. Thank you so much for having us in today, and thanks for all the amazing work that you guys do. We're safer communities because of the work that you put in. Tell us about the museum. People may have passed by the fire department, but may have not known that there's a jewel that's tucked away inside.
Certainly. We have a rich piece of history here at this museum. A lot of our firefighting history from the city of Anderson. The museum itself was built in 1985 when the station was built. And then over the years, probably the last 15 years, we had he's retired now, firefighter Billy McCullough, really took a lot of interest in developing this museum. So what started from just 4 trucks in here, starting from the 1880s up to the 1917, Billy really took an interest in found a lot of these treasures that were hidden. We've had people, found their granddaddy's badges and helmets and different things, and he researched and got a lot of the history for us and put this together to the jewel we have today.
And a lot of people may not understand the value of having something that written history, because a lot of times things were just oral histories,
right.
and when those people died, that kind of goes away. So to be able to have something that preserves a part of your history is really cool. And we were having some fun looking through some of the old ledgers of things that the firefighters were called into work for. So it's kind of cool to go back and see those things.
Yes, see a lot of the history that was just living history there.
Let's talk about the trucks, because that's what started it all. What's so special about these trucks? How far do they date back?
All right, our first one's back from the 1880s. We have a horse-drawn ladder wagon back from the 1880s. And then behind us here, we have our first motorized vehicle from 1911. It was a chemical truck instead of a pumper like we use today. And then we have one a pumper from 1915, and then one from 1917.
Do you have a favorite piece that's in here? Because looking around, there's so many different things that tell so many different stories, but do you have a one that's special to you?
My favorite piece is the game wheel pull box. It was the way that fire alarms were transmitted back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. It was basically a telegraph system before 911 was developed, or phones were really prevalent. And basically, if you had a fire to a residence, you would go to your nearest street corner, pull that game wheel pull box, and it would transmit pretty much a telegraph alarm to the fire station, and it would be distinctive for that box number. So the one we have here is box 415, and it was actually the girls' dorm of Anderson College. Was Anderson College back then, Anderson University now was Anderson College. So they knew if that box 415 came in, that's where that alarm was located, and to go to that area.
So you had to know where your closest call box was. You're not going to have one in your yard.
Right. You may have to run a block or two down the street to your nearest pull box to activate an alarm if you had a fire at your house.
And I was telling you, Michael, too, I said it's probably cool to see kids come in and see some of these things, and they're used to iPhones and Androids, to say, what is this? So they really get an education.
They really enjoy seeing the difference between the old trucks versus what we have today.
I bet. And Travis, you got a favorite piece?
I think my favorite is the old ladder truck. I actually have a picture over there of the 2 horses, and their name was Frank and Jim. So I think that's pretty neat in here too. So
yeah, and I'm sure kids love to ask about that too. Yeah. And I know you guys have a piece from 9/11 as well. Tell me about that.
So we have an actual piece of steel I-beam from the Twin Towers. The New Jersey Ports Authority had a lot of this, and basically all we had to do was pay the shipping to get it here. I think at the time it was a couple of $100 to get it shipped to us on a 18-wheeler truck. They brought it to us, and now we display it proudly in our museum. And
to have that piece of history right here in Anderson is big. I mean, because that's a day all of us we'll never forget. So it's always really cool to come and teach the kids about that may not have been alive during 9/11.
Most of the school children today were not.
Right. So let's talk about, how do people come and visit this? Is it a free museum? How does visitation work?
It is free. Basically, just give the station a call, 231-2259, and just let us know you want to come. We have a lot of school groups come, scout groups, civic groups, and then just families, homeschool families, or just individuals come and want to look at the museum. So certainly anytime our doors open, just stop by. It's better to call just to make sure we're not doing something else, but just stop by or give us a call, and one of us or one of the guys on duty will be glad to show them around.
And we talked about the educational component of this, but for this community, what do you think this museum means for the Anderson history and all of that? What do you think this is going to do to kind of help tell that story, keep that story?
Well, firefighting is really steeped in tradition. So, you know, we like to see where we've come from and see where we're going. So this museum, it shows a lot of the pictures of the old fires. We had some of the major fires, major disasters, loss of life we had here in Anderson. So we can build from that and learn from our past. And even with the trucks, you know, you can see where we came from, you know, 100 years ago to what we have today, and, you know, kind of imagine what we'll have, you know, past my lifetime, you know, 100 years from now. You know, where will the fire service be then?
Well, we appreciate you guys having us in here today. And of course, we'll put all that information for you at our website, AndersonSCLiving.com. You can also find it at yourcarolina.tv. Thanks, guys, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Yeah,